spirit passing through.
Hello, everyone. I am your host, John, and this is another episode of Spiritcast, paranormal podcast where we talk about, just about pretty much anything paranormal. Tonight's episode, I do have a guest with me. He is a local firefighter in the Baltimore County area, and he's going to be talking about a couple of experiences that he's had. As you know, tonight's episode is about haunted fire stations. So, let's get right to it. Here we go.
Spirit passing through.
All righty. With me, I have Griffin. What's up, brother?
Not much. What's up, John? How you
I
been?
see you have a mask on there.
Yeah, with these rules, man, this COVID going on here at the firehouse, so gotta kind of wear the mask.
Yeah, it's been a little bit since I've been at least back to my station. Can't go back to Essex because it's a long drive from where I'm at now.
I hear you.
But yeah, so tonight I've compiled a list of a couple haunted houses. Well, I guess you could say haunted firehouses. Going to go around the country. I know they're all over the place, but I brought you on because you were a member at two different stations that have had paranormal activity in them. Um, and one of them we were both a member at one point in time, which was Middleborough at the time.
That is
Now I
correct.
believe it's just I think it's I don't even know what they have there now, but
I think it's just the building right now.
but good luck with that. So you're at Wise Avenue, correct?
Yeah, Wise Avenue and Middle River.
All right. Now, what have you had happen to you at Wise Avenue? Because I've heard other stories, but I've never had anything happen there.
So there was one time I was downstairs doing my laundry, and where the Max sits, you know how the old engine bay is down there set up. On the old engine bay, the Max sits against the wall, and I was doing my laundry at 1 o'clock in the morning, and all I hear out of nowhere is, "Hey!" I just looked around, and there was nobody there at all. I walked around, kind of freaked out a little bit, turned back around, and then out of the corner of my eye, just saw a shadow. And yeah,
Yeah,
so that's pretty much the biggest thing I've had happen here. More of my stuff's happened more towards the Middleborough side.
Now, what have you had happen at Middleborough?
So
Because I've had a couple of things happen there myself.
yeah. So as you saw earlier, due to the status on Facebook, me and Billy were actually we were taking class together. It was early in the morning, and it was like 7 o'clock in the morning. We had to be out of the building, and at 7 o'clock, I felt a push on my chest. I looked up, nobody was there. Fell back asleep, woke back up, and woke up to a shadow figure walking away in tall socks with shorts on. And I will tell you right now, I believe it was my grandfather waking me up for class. And Billy had the same experience.
That was at the same time?
Yeah, at the same time. He was actually in the other room. You remember where the chairs used to be out in the day room? He was actually out there sleeping downstairs in the day room, and I was in the bunk room. And it happened to both of us at the same time.
Now, that's pretty wild. Now, the only thing that I had happen to me at Middleborough, minus the time that I actually did an investigation there, we were downstairs when it was the old bunk room. And I had walked into the bathroom from the bunk room. It was me and Jeremy Rip Miller.
Your best friend.
And I can't. There was somebody else there, another live-in. And so I go to the bathroom, and I come back out of the bathroom, and all the lights are on. They're both sleeping. I kind of stepped back a little bit and thought about it. It was no big deal at the point. But I've had a lot happen to me over at Middle River Rescue.
I've heard stories about that. I've heard
two instances happened, one after my mom died and then one after my dad died. So it was me and Chris Johnson at Middle River. This was probably 2 days after my mom passed away. We were outside, and Chris was washing his car. Now, you know that Chris at the time worked over at Fire Dispatch. Had his pager on. I had my pager on. My pager was with Middle River Fire at the time because that's where I was a member at. I was just there just hanging around, and the bells go off. Out of nowhere, the bells go off for a rescue. His pager never went off. So he goes into the station and he calls dispatch. He says, what's the call? We didn't get no printout, pagers didn't go off. What do we got? And fire dispatch said, I don't know what you're talking about. We didn't set alarms off. And now I got another story, but I'm gonna add this second guest over here. I got Joby joining in.
Oh, hey.
My brother Joby.
What's up, brother, man?
What is going on?
Barely hear y'all. Sitting here with the wife.
You got to go somewhere where there's a little bit more reception there, buddy. Well, he was there.
He was having connection issues a few minutes ago.
So the second instance that I had, there was probably about 10 of us sitting in the bay of Middle River Rescue. And you know where the light switch is as soon as you walk into the metal doors. There's two like commercial light switches you have. When you flick it, it like dunk. You know, you can definitely hear when it flicks up or it flicks down. So it was the opposite because the other light switch that turns on the same lights had, flipped them on. So in order to flip the lights on, you had to flip them down, and then to turn them off, you flick them up. So the lights were on, and I was sitting on the ambulance bumper. We were all talking about things that have happened in the past. Dad that day was a rescue that we were getting basically ready for, funeral and stuff like that. Oh, I'm looking at the light switch. There was somebody sitting over there. I watched the light switch flick up and turn all the lights off in the bay.
Are we talking about 52?
Yes.
Yeah. That is the most haunted station in Baltimore.
Now you guys know Kurt. We all know Kurt. So it was me, Kurt, I believe Will Blum, and Mikey. We were all sitting downstairs in the day room at 52. And it was probably like midnight, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. The chairs in the office upstairs above us, they just started rolling across the floor, and they like smashed in something upstairs. You heard it. Whoosh. We go up there to take a look. Obviously, there's nobody else there, so I don't know what it was, but it was definitely probably the creepiest thing that I've had happen to me there with that. What about you, Joby?
Well, 52. I mean, most of my experiences came from 52. And without the help of your mom and mine, I would probably never had a good sleep there ever. From when me and Rob Klein, we were sitting there and the door slams and we come downstairs and then Chris Johnson walks in and he was like, "Hey, why y'all look so startled?" We were like, "Man, why are you playing? Why did you slam the door like that?" He's like, "I just pulled up." I was like, "Man, you lying." He said, "I'll prove it to you." And that was when Chris was a lieutenant. We go upstairs and go into the camera room, and clear as day, you see Chris pulling up. You see his car pulling up, and you see the door open wide. And you know how the door was at 52? You couldn't slam it because it had the spring thing. Mm-hmm. All you saw was the door go boom. We were like, "Whoa!" That was caught on video. And the second thing was we took pictures. We were in the bunk room, and it was pitch black. And I just started taking a bunch of pictures of the blackness. And then once we looked at it the next day, you could see orbs above me and above Rob. And then we also had the time, not to bring up anything sad, but when Miss Connie passed away, they kept the medic for a while. And we all rode inside a medic before. We know that you can't cut those lights on unless you push the button or open the door. The lights used to come automatically on. And like when things get
You know,
crazy, when the squad door slam or the dive unit siren to go off or the special unit, we used to Rob, you're gonna call Rob Klein. We used to be like, Miss Connie, can you calm them down? And everything will calm down.
now I've had that happen with the lights in the back of 526.
Well, actually, I've
Turn
heard
on it.
multiple stories about this.
Yeah.
That this is it. Hearing this come from you guys, it's like, wait a minute, it seems like this is honestly a true statement because literally, I was told this story literally just the other day, and it was by two other people that have had that same experience. I'm like, no way. And hearing it from you guys, it's like, whoa, okay.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was so many things that happened inside that engine bay or it was squad bay. It was just sometimes you always used to think somebody in here playing because it was just too real and it was too much going on, like this between sirens going off.
I've heard that the squad
You always think somebody's messing with you.
Right, you think somebody's playing a game and you're the only one inside the whole station.
I've heard
Now,
that the
Middle River
squad
Fire. Now, Middle River Fire has had a couple of things. I wasn't there to experience it, but I was talking to Tim, and I was talking to John Delana, and they both can vouch for it. But they had at one point they had a big snowstorm, and I believe the heater upstairs had stopped working in the bunker because you know that bunker was pretty much like an attic at the time. So they were all sleeping down in the hall. And I don't know, there was probably, I think they said there was like, an engine crew, maybe a truck crew. So there's probably like 7 or 8 of them. And they had said that I think it was Tim had woke up and he had looked out in the hallway and he saw like a shadow or somebody walk by to go to the bathroom. Well, when he actually sat up to look to see who it was, because it's like probably 3 o'clock in the morning or something, there's everybody sleeping. Everybody that was there was sleeping. There was nobody else there. Now, I don't know who that could possibly be. I mean, we all know, most spirits, they attach themselves to something, to someone, to a specific object. With my mom and dad, like your dad or your grandfather, Griffin, they tend to stick around, and the intelligent haunts, they got sense of humors.
Well,
They can, they like to play pranks.
Something crazy at my house that I live in now. I have 5 girls, little girls, I don't know how they got killed or whatever. I got 5 little girl spirits in my house. And the kids all see it and the animals react to it.
Now, I want to bring up a point because we've discussed this a little bit ago, but one of the most haunted fire companies in the country is Chesapeake Beach Volunteer Fire and Rescue down in Virginia Beach, Station 4. And I was doing a little bit of reading up on it, and it had said that they had a haunted house there, and they had a firefighter by the name that they believe is Benjamin Bishop. He died in the 70s. And apparently he was a prankster. He liked to pull the alarm. He liked to turn on sirens, and just the other stuff, vehicle door slamming. And he's actually even thrown pillows, which was, pretty crazy. But I'm gonna tell you another story that actually kind of creeps me out, like officially creeps me out, and it's from Fire Engine Company 107, which is in Chicago, Illinois. And it doesn't have anything to do with a ghost. It actually has to do with a handprint. And it goes back to April 18th of 1924. And it was a firefighter by the name of Frank Levy. And he was washing the windows at the station one day, and he decided to put his hand on the glass. And he told his friend that he felt like he was going to die that day. I don't know why. It doesn't say, which is a pretty eerie. They had a call that day. It was a office building on fire. 8 firefighters died that day, including Frank. The very next day, the firefighters that came back to the station noticed that there was a handprint on the window, and they tried to clean it. It wouldn't clean, wouldn't erase. They tried all kinds of stuff, and the handprinting wouldn't go away. And it wasn't until 20 years later that a paperboy accidentally threw the morning paper through that window and broke it. And it was 20 years to that day. And that's kind of stuff that you don't realize goes on. But a handprint, that's pretty creepy stuff when you just kind of think about it just for a moment or two.
Yeah. Well, you had another Avenue. When they first got the black gear, Scotty still took a picture. One of them took a picture of the gear, and they had a full body apparition with 3/4 boots, with the curly mustache, standing there looking at the gear in the picture.
I do remember that, Joby.
That's creepy. I've never heard that. I tried to get Ricky on here, Ricky Blueball from White Marsh. He had a story from old Cowtown, but he didn't. I don't know if he's working or whatever, but he had a story about something that happened over at the old White Marsh station.
Well, we had an incident. Were you there, Griffin, when Fish Sticks got hit by the apparition in the chest during the fire at Fort Howard?
I was not there. I do remember that. Also, I think it was Bobby Taylor got scratches up his arm when we were down there.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't even have his turnout coat off. Comes out and literally looks at his arm, and there's literally scratches.
And a guy named, we call him Fish Sticks, but it's George Fisher. He got some like punched in the chest or something in the chest. It felt like something went through him. And when he ripped his coat off, you can see the mark on his chest. And that happened at Fort.
Was that one of the fires that was set that they had said it was arson?
Yeah. It's one of the many.
Now,
there have been a lot of fires there, unfortunately. Now, Griffin, another story that's similar to the one that you had shared, I was just doing some research, comes from Fire Station 9 out of El Paso, Texas. And it's a gentleman, apparently it's the spirit of a guy named Woodard Bloxham. He was a fire captain who died in 1934. He died in a warehouse fire, which so happened to occur across the street. And he kind of wakes them up to let them know about calls before the actual bell goes off. Apparently the bay doors open, lights turn on, engine bays have, opened, and but some people have said that they have felt like cold spots around furniture and stuff like that. And apparently the water fountain would go off, doorknobs turn. Apparently he's even flushed the toilet a couple of times, which I wish some people would do for me, because every once in a while, you forget to flush the toilet and somebody can flush it behind me. I appreciate it. Thanks. But I don't get that lucky.
Hey, at my station in Delaware is haunted. Yeah, I had like 2 experiences up there already, but multiple people see shadows at night. Like I actually was pulled off my bunk bed at work. And I woke up, I thought it was somebody playing a prank. And the door was still closed, and there was nobody in the room. It was pitch black. But they said the ghost, who they think it is a prankster. So getting pulled off the bed was one of the things that he did. And he used to lock doors. I didn't have my bunk room with my stuff inside of it locked on me. and I couldn't understand. Like, I know I walked out and left it open. Now it's closed and the door's locked. And that was his thing. He locked doors and pulled people off the bunk.
Now there's a reason they call Station 12 the host, the go station. Now I've heard stories about things happening there. I don't know them offhand, but I've talked to, I believe Eric Andreas has told a few. I know some of the medics that have been there overnight that have come in and they've seen different stuff. But I've never experienced it. But there's a reason that they got a ghost on their logo. Now, Joby, I don't know if you know, but apparently Christiana Firehouse is like one of the most haunted in Maryland.
You mean Delaware?
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Honestly, I didn't even know that they have a. I mean, the place looks creepy and old. So yeah, I can believe it. Thinking about it.
Yeah, there are just so many. Like they got the top 10 most haunted. 2 of them are in El Paso. There's Fort Lauderdale, Florida. That apparently has a lot going on. Milwaukee, Wisconsin, engine number 35. Long Beach, California, up in the house.
Long Beach.
Company 12 apparently has quite a bit that's going on there. And I've looked up a lot, and there's so much that goes on worldwide, and it makes you wonder, like, why are fire stations haunted? Now, I'm going to tell you the creepy story when I did the investigation over at Middleborough. Now, it was me, Josh, and Jay. I tried to get these to play as audio files, but it did not work out the way that I wanted it to. But if you go into my Facebook, you could definitely hear it. So I'm just going to tell you the story because it's creepy as it is. So Josh and Jay went down to, actually I shouldn't say they went down to, they went up to where the rec room was, the new rec room. Well, when they opened the door, the EVP, you could hear people talking in the background. Now, it wasn't any of us. Like, they didn't hear it with their ears. Now, the one thing that they did do, and it happened back, but when you knock on something and you go, knock, 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 knock.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they did the first half, and something knocked back with them. And you hear in the audio, you hear Jay and Josh both go, "Did you hear that?" So I went through. We didn't catch anything on video, unfortunately. No video, but the audio, the EVP that I got really, really creeped me out. So I went up there by myself, and I had turned on the recorder, and I had said, "Do you want to?" And I was going to say, "Do you want to come out and play with us?" Well, I stopped in mid-sentence.
Come on.
And I had heard something. I don't know what I had heard, but I had stopped. And a whisper in the EVP said, "Bury you." I didn't hear it till I got home, and I started playing the evidence back. And I about had a stroke because, whatever it was right next to me. And it was probably definitely the creepiest thing that I'd had happen to me in a long time. But, these things happen all over the place, and it makes you wonder, why are fire stations on it? Is it just a bunch of firefighters that like to play pranks on each other, and they still continue it in the afterlife?
Yeah. I think so.
I can tell you, that's definitely my grandfather's excuse.
And it makes you wonder, like, I'd like to get a name. Yeah, I never had a chance to find out who it was, but I'm pretty sure probably everything that's happened at Middle River Rescue is probably either my mom or dad. Anything that's happened at the old, Middleborough is probably your grandfather.
Or Henry Rayner.
Him too. And that's it. I didn't know him, so I don't know how much of an actual jokester or prankster he
I
was.
don't know. I don't know myself. All I know is from stories that I've been told from actually my grandfather and my grandmother. I mean, they really didn't get into if he's a jokester or anything like that.
Now, Joby, you volunteer other places as well, don't you? Or you have been at least 2 other fire stations.
Yeah.
Now, where were you? You were at what? Lansdowne? Was it Lansdowne? Arbutus, one of them two?
Yeah, Lansdowne and English Council.
Now, anything happen over there?
Can you hear me? Ready? I can't. It went dead for a second. Say it again.
Has anything, when you were there, did you get anything over there?
At English Council, we are sitting in the hall. It was me. What's her name? Gee, I can't think of her name right now. One of the Condons and her female friend, and we were joking, and all of a sudden this cold breeze came, and this balloon came out of nowhere. We were like, ha ha ha, something about the balloon, and the balloon was just kind of on the table. All of a sudden, it raised up and floated towards the girl, and then landed right in front of the girl. And we were like, yeah, that's something weird.
That reminds me of like It, the movie It. With a balloon. That would just creep me out. I think I'd be like, all right, I'm up out of here.
Yeah. Another thing. If you want a house to use, where are you going? If you want a house to investigate, you might as well come to my house for the next few days. It's empty. I'm telling you, the little kids, I can bring the kids. And they all seen these 5 little girls that keep saying, "Come play with us, and you're gonna die in here." It's 5 different girls, and one of the kids see the girl chasing the cat, and 3:00 every morning, you can see the cats running up and down the steps.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I don't even know what to say about that. That's
And then also,
That's a loss of words on this side.
the little girl told one of the boys, and this is the 14-year-old boy, told him that go look in the vent downstairs in the basement. Everybody's been scared crapless to go in the basement and look in the vent. And it's supposed to be 5 girls and 1 adult male. And he's supposed to be the mean one.
Okay.
That's Ooh. I don't even that would just the kids laughing. That is, just any type of kid laughter. That's just creepy as hell. I don't even know where to go with that. If I'd have heard that back in the day, that would probably totally trip me out. I think Joby is frozen.
Oh, lost him.
And Joby has disappeared. That's okay. So, Griffin, if that was your grandfather, I appreciate the laughter. Appreciate the good times.
I don't know.
But,
I'll tell you, it was that morning when this all went down. I tell you, I didn't believe it until I actually woke up and saw what I saw, and I was like, and when it didn't just happen to me, it happened to Billy also. I was like, okay, maybe I'm not the one that's going crazy here.
Well, I mean, just because of that doesn't mean that you're not going crazy, but
Good point. Good point.
because we all know we all have a little crazy in us.
Exactly.
But yeah, there's just so much going on. It's hard. It's hard to everything. Sure, if I sit down there for a long enough time, I could probably find something haunting at probably every fire station, probably in the world. Maybe with the exception of the new White Marsh station, since it was just built. I don't think it's had enough time to gather anything yet. But I'm pretty sure it's working on it.
What's another favorite person?
Oh,
So I think I'm going to wrap it up.
sounds good. Thank you for having me.
I appreciate you joining me, brother. And,
Thank you for having me. Let me know when your next investigation is up this way.
I will. I most absolutely will.
I'd love to join.
I think it'd be fun.
Oh
You
yeah,
get anything safe?
I do kind of miss it, so do let me know. Other than that, I'll see you later, buddy.
All right, brother. Appreciate it. Be safe tonight.
Oh, will do. Thank you.
All right. So, had quite a few stories, and there's so many more. And it really makes you wonder if it is just a bunch of firefighters that are just playing pranks in the afterlife. I mean, why not? I'm pretty sure that if, when I die, I'd like to go back and play a few pranks on a few of the people that haven't had a chance to have that happen to them yet. But so Monday, February 8th is going to be the next live podcast, and it's going to be a good one. I have two guests joining me. One of them is Tyra Clark from Arkansas X-Files, and the other one is Jeremy McManus. He's from Darkness to Light Paranormal Investigation and Events. Now, they just had a 48-hour lockdown at a hotel in Texas. It was called the Old Park Hotel. And they had so much stuff happen to them in that hotel. It's going to be wild talking to them about this. So, everybody have a good night. Don't forget to join me then. That's Monday, February 8th. Same time. And until then, stay safe, stay healthy, don't get COVID or any other disease for that matter. And have a good night. See ya.